Let's place our footers now. That'll be explained in lecture. The idea of the footer is a wider section underneath that foundation wall that we've created. So our foundation wall goes up from level 1, it goes down 4 feet. That's below the frost line. And then we're going to put something underneath that to help it spread the load of the building. And that's called a footer. So we're going to go to architecture and we're going to look, I think it's, excuse me, under structure. And we're going to look for a wall, structural foundation wall. And you'll notice if I stay on this long enough, it indicates that blue footer. It shows you a little cross section of it. Shows you how that kind of spreads out the load of that wall. So we're going to select that. Actually, if you haven't saved your project, this is actually a good time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and save my project. And I'm labeling it as the level of progress I've made. And I'll go ahead and save that. Back to where we were, wall foundation bearing footing. It's a 36 by 12. It's automatically in. If you don't have yours in, you can email me or send me the file and I can place it if there's some problem, if it hasn't been installed. I can show you another place that you'll find that in a second. But first, let's go through this process. So I've grabbed the wall bearing footing. This is under structure, wall. And as I roll over that wall, it'll highlight indicating that it's ready to place that. If I click, you'll notice that it places that object. And I'm doing this in 3D because it's quick to visualize. So I'm going around and clicking all the walls and inserting those little footers. And then the next thing I want to do is put them under each one of these little bump outs. So I'm going to go ahead and select each one of these and click on it. And those are the little things that are the kind of pilasters that are collect our steel column weight. And even if you can't see them, once you select them and roll over them, if you can't roll over them again, you'll notice that it's placed one. And once I'm complete, I'll just roll around here so you can see that. So this is a very quick process. I'll click up to bring us back to our view. The next thing we need to do is put little footers, or actually larger footers, in the center here to carry these other beams that aren't near the foundation wall. And you'll notice there's an isolated foundation. That's the next one over. It'll say no structural foundation families are loaded. The warning will come up. And would you like to load one now? And I'll click yes. Now it might take you to the load family and you'll probably find that those components aren't there. So I'm going to just cancel out of that because there's another way to load components like that. We're going to go to insert. And we're going to now, it kind of is a new way that Autodesk does it. Instead of having the families in your computer, you can load them from the cloud. So I'm going to go to Load Autodesk Family. This is going to open up a cloud document. And we're just going to look for, I believe it is Structural Foundations. And one of the first ones that'll pop up will be that rectangular footing. And I'm going to click Load. You may need to sign into your Autodesk account at this point. If it's not actually giving you that access to the Autodesk family. So take a moment to do that if you need to. Anyway, I'm going to click load. It downloaded that, and you'll notice that it is, oops, this is not placed, this is not the right one there yet. So now that I've inserted that, I'm going to go back to structure. Excuse me for that. I'm going to go select the isolated wall. And now we have that rectangular footing, 72 inches by 48 by 18 inches deep. It's going to place the top of it at level 1. And I'm going to be able to place it right on the grids. So I can zoom in here. And when I get both of those grids highlighted, I can select. And I'm going to actually be placing those footers right underneath where our steel columns are going to come. So now we can just take a look at that. Now we have all of our elements that we need in order to collect the loads and distribute them from the steel columns and the walls that we're going to add next.